All right, peace everybody. Welcome to my very first YouTube album review, and today I'll be reviewing Lawrence's new album that came out last week. It's The Family Business. Welcome to The Family Business, y'all. We'll be right back and hit that like and subscribe button. All right, so peace, y'all, and welcome to The Family Business, and that is the name, Family Business, of a great new album, and I really mean outstanding new album from a band that I've been following for several years now, the band called Lawrence. And Lawrence is actually a brother and sister led 8-piece band, and they are a dynamite band. And they really are. This is their 5th album, so they've been around a little while. Kind of started out Clyde Lawrence, who is the brother of this powerhouse duo, had an initial album under his name, but their very first album as Lawrence with Clyde and his sister Gracie, who joined the band after she finally graduated from high school, who had been kind of singing with Clyde and his band while he was a student at Brown University. And doing the real band thing, they were really, playing those fraternity parties, right? And those late nights and writing some great songs, but really learning a lot of the core party songs that people love to party to. This is their 5th album, Family Business. And that Clyde is a keyboard player, another aspect that, I have really been drawn to over the years, because he has really impressed me, not only with his vocal stylings, which Clyde sings kind of like a little bit like a Ray Charles kind of a rasp, which I love, very soulful, Randy Newman-ish kind of, but an outstanding keyboard player. And I got a chance to, really ask a question about who his
What's up, Nicky Two Shoes?
Teachers were, or who he listened to, and he, named the greats. Then
it was just listening to a lot of my favorite people. I'll throw out some names. I mean, obviously Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Billy Preston is a big one. Listen to Billy Preston, Dr. John, Elton John, Billy Joel, Ben Folds, Chuck Leavell.
And his sister, Gracie Lawrence, is, I think, the most incredible young vocalist out there, by far. She has impressed me. I mean, her vocal style is very recognizable. You'll recognize her voice. You're going to be hearing it more and more. I mean, most recently, she's on a most recent release from Meghan Trainor, and Clyde and Gracie are both on a recent collaboration on a great new album from the genius Jacob Collier with Michael McDonald. All right, so that was all on a song. So it was Clyde and Gracie and Jacob and Michael McDonald. So these guys, they're hanging with the folks they need to be hanging with, and they're still an independent band. But they opened up for the Rolling Stones a couple of weeks ago, so they're really hitting it in high gear. And this album, wow, it blows me away. But it's typical. I knew to expect great things. So, like I said, this is their 5th album. They started out with Clyde, had kind of a solo album with a little bit with Gracie was on there. Then they really kicked it off with Breakfast. And I came about after their next album, Living Room. The pandemic hit. And they've got a great docu-series that I actually need to finish watching. I don't know if they've actually finished it, but it was about how the pandemic impacted this independent band, and it really did. But a lot of what they had to do was move to promoting their music online, when that's what many acts had to do. I actually caught them. They did a great. It was I think it's Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. I think Christmas Eve in 2020, or this would have been for 2020, called the Egg Drop, and it was for an Atlanta Jewish community organization called Neuronina. And they do just the greatest party songs. So and it was totally online, and because the pandemic had shut it down. They could not do this. So it was a virtual egg drop. party, and so I'll put up a link to that. You should catch them, and so that was a few years, prior to where we are today, and they've evolved, but the band stays at the core. And so speaking of the band, so Clyde was playing with these guys at Brown University, but he's known several of these guys all of his life, especially Jordan Cohen, who actually helps Clyde manage the band, and he also helps Clyde speak in front of Congress. And it's more on that later. No, they actually represented musicians, against the evil empire, Ticketmaster and Live Nation. So and it was they really, that's Jordan. So tenor saxophone, and he's a singer, and also I think he helps write with songwriting, and Clyde and him have some side projects as well. So Sam Askin, I think there's the story. He's the drummer. Make sure I get these names right. Sam, I better get that right. I think they've been playing together. Maybe he was a few years older than Clyde. Great bass player, Michael Karsh. And one of the things that really, that sets the foundation. Karsh is a great groove. And this new album, he's really doing some things like from the great Rocco from Tower of Power. But anyway, a great horn section that joins along with Jordan, Sumner Becker, and Mark Langer. Sumner plays the alto saxophone. Mark is on the trumpet. Mark also does a little kind of rap singing, on occasion. And last but not least, Johnny Coe, who is just an outstanding guitarist and vocalist as well, with the harmonies that they do. But really, it is another just an outstanding instrumentalist and musician that rounds out this great band. And like I said, they've been and really hitting it, now for over 10 years as a band, right? And this new album, I believe, because I've been listening to them, since, during the pandemic, right before their Hotel TV album came out. And we got to see them live. So after the pandemic, they did start touring again. Got to see them, catch them in Savannah. They were outstanding. We're excited. They're coming back to Georgia again in the fall. But yeah, promoting this new family business album. And it really is family, to this band. And let me just say this about the family. So as I said, it's brother and sister, Clyde and Gracie, and Clyde, just to let you know, they both have a very famous father, somewhat famous. You may not know his name, but he was, he wrote the movie, Miss Congeniality. And Clyde ended up, when he was 5 years old, writing the song that William Shatner sings in the movie for Miss USA. And so I think he's actually in some like Songwriters Hall of Fame or something, but actually found. So Clyde's been doing this a long time. And Gracie, all right, so she's been singing along with her brother this whole time as well. And she's also been acting. So she's currently just wrapped up, I think, a season of The Sex Life of College Girls. Is that the title? The Sex Lives of College Girls? One of those. But I think she's been on several other series, Billions maybe. And their dad did a great Christmas movie, and that was with Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader. And Gracie actually has a role that you can catch her briefly in that, because their dad was, I think he may have directed this one as well. Their parents, and I think their mom is also very talented. They have a younger brother as well, Linus, who I think eventually will end up, it's the family business, right? So with the band, you'll see them on stage on several occasions, and they really harmonize like family. Right. With this being a very talented, young lady in the acting realm, and I said something about her vocals. I don't speak of that lightly. I mean, her range is incredible, and she has such a unique voice. And I think she suffers as well as I have over years, and I'm much older. But she's talks about it even on this album of. Lots of insecurities over her singing, but she really needn't be, because she really is a phenomenally talented and gifted vocalist and songwriter and performer. Yeah, that's enough talk from me. Let's hear from Lawrence, okay? Right after this. All right, peace, y'all. It's your old pal, Nicky Two Shoes, and thank you for being here and viewing some of my new content and some of the old content on this channel. While you're here, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I promise I'm going to be posting a lot more content now that this channel's kind of been revitalized. You know, we've come in, gave it some CPR. You know, it's no longer on its last leg, hopefully. So you'll want to be updated when I'm posting new content like album reviews or stories from the road or just some songs that mean something to me. And if you have a request, shoot it to me. If I haven't done it yet, or maybe I may want to try to redo it again, I'll give it a try because I love trying new songs. That's what this whole channel is about: music and peace and love. All right, now on to the next part. But before I really get into the new album, let me just say one of the other unique aspects of this young band, you may be familiar, you may not be, is that they will put out studio versions of songs, that, you know, original songs. And then they will do those songs in an acoustic-ish fashion. And those acoustic-ish versions, to many of us, supersede the actual studio version. But the song that they had, that they released, after the pandemic was ending, was called "Don't Lose Sight." Now, it's really about being in the music industry, you know, but it really, you know, however you want to incorporate that into your life scheme. Don't lose sight is such a magnificent manifesto to get through any kind of hard time. And you know, as a world, you know, we were all, you know, going through really terrible times during the pandemic, and that song "Don't Lose Sight," I'd listen to it every day. But it was the version, their acoustic-ish. It's hard to say, Clyde. The acoustic-ish version that really was just blew me away. And it wasn't just, I mean, and on here you've got the killer band core, those 8 members, Clyde Gracie, and Gracie's vocals. Good Lord, there are some, almost, and this will kind of be a reaction to, you know, for the album. Some of this will be a kind of a reaction piece for me, listening to some of these. You'll see me react, but there are some great reaction videos out here on YouTube of people hearing Gracie for the first time singing "Don't Lose Sight." One of the things I was about to mention about what they did, not only with that core group of 8, they bring in some of the best young vocalists out there today. And I've learned about some killer bands, you know, Couch, because they had Tema, and also Melt, because they used Veronica, Big Ron from the band. And they are really great new killer vocalists and bands to check out. As I mentioned, Clyde is kind of networked in, he and Jordan, and they are producing and working with other bands, and they're, you know, networked into a lot of exciting and very hip music that I think gives me hope for the future. And you know, there are lots of people, and I just want to I admire, love, and respect everything that this man said. To the most part, Rick Beato is an extremely influential person out here on YouTube, and he's, you know, one of his most recent. We've got a lot of problems in the music industry, and you want to find out about it, listen to Rick. You know, it's scary. There's a lot of problems in the industry, and that's one of the things that I think I've loved about Lawrence. They don't play the tracks; they play live. They're not tuning their vocals. You know, they screw up, it's still there. Things may have shifted, especially when they're doing huge shows like with the Rolling Stones, but for the general part, you know, they've wanted to keep it like a very, live band, and not playing like live bands do now with a lot of pre-recorded and auto-tuned vocals and, worse, just lip syncing everything. These guys really are great musicians. And so what's great about that, and they also, they cover great songs, and they also will try to, different styles, right? But they keep it as a party energetic band, they really are. And they kick off this album with just that, and so let's check it out. Their first track, Tell Me What You Want, Tell Me What You Need, guys, because this is what you want. This is what you need this, and you may not know it, but it's the first track on the album.
Eyes only. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. A BuzzFeed top 10 ways that you hate me. Don't ever call a girl crazy, but lately that is exactly what you're trying to make me. My mind's racing. I'm impatient. My meditation tells me it's in my head, but then you're going again with all the copy and pasting. Feel like I'm never gonna. No. Eyes on me. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. And I can't sleep. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need.
Headline reads final, but at this rate, it's sort of looking like clickbait, deepfake. These days, trying to win the crowd like a sweepstakes. I've been a pre-K, I don't need a replay. Running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And tell me what you need.
What you need, right here.
Eyes on me. Tell me what you want.
So this is how they open up this album. This is what you need, right? Listen to the soul. I mean, just blow away with Gracie's opening line, and it takes it. But then they just break it down. Here's some of that Johnny Co guitar. Got them driving horns in there. Here we go. Here's your breakdown.
Eyes on me. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. And I can't sleep. So tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need.
Telling you what you want right here. So, killer way to open up with this driving, funky. And I love that they open it up with this Clyde and Gracie. Sometimes, it may be just Clyde taking the lead or Gracie taking the lead. This is both of them swapping off the vocals. They're just showcasing both of their soulfulness here on this one. So, great opening track. All right, peace, y'all. It's your old pal, Nicky Two Shoes, and I hope you're enjoying my album review of Lawrence's new album, Family Business. I will have the rest of the album reviewed in part 2 coming up very soon. So thank you again for being here. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Just click those buttons there and stay tuned for part 2. You're in the family business. All right, peace, y'all.